Hello friends and my dear students. So as in the last session we have discussed about the numerical problem related to the worm gear drive basics and terminologies. Okay. So we have seen one numerical which is there. I will just recall it. This was the numerical which we have discussed, and we have also recalled all the necessary formulas for the calculation of this particular numerical, and we tried to solve this numerical in the last session. So today we will start and discuss what do you understand by the force analysis of worm gear drive. Basically, the analysis of three component of the resultant tooth force between the meshing teeth of worm and worm wheel are based on these following assumptions. Like worm is a driving element while worm wheel is driven element. So many times in your competitive exams, this multiple choice questions they may use to ask that in worm gear drive which is driving element and which is driven element. So you can quote that worm is driving element and worm wheel will be the driven element. Worm has right-handed threads. Worm rotates in anti-clockwise direction. Okay. So these three component of gear tooth force of worm and worm wheel are shown in the figure as you can see here. And suffix 1 will be used for the worm while suffix 2 will be used for the worm wheel. Okay. So let's see this. This is 1 is for the worm and 2 is for the worm wheel. So you can see in the picture that this is P2A axial force on worm wheel. This is tangential force on worm wheel in the right hand direction. In upward direction, this is P2R radial force on the worm wheel. Similarly, this is P1T tangential force on the worm. This is P1R which is downward direction and radial load on the worm, and this is the leftward direction axial load on the worm. So the component of the resultant force acting on the worm can be rewritten like this. These are the nomenclature P1T, P1A, P1R. These are the tangential, axial and radial component of the worm, and similarly P2T, P2A, P2R are the respective tangential, axial and radial component of the worm wheel. While the force acting on the worm wheel is equal and opposite to the force acting on the worm. So this can be rewritten like this: P1T is equals to P1A, P2A is equals to P1T. This you can also depict with the help of this particular diagram, like P2A is equals to P1T, but these are in the opposite direction of the nature of the application of load. Okay, so these are up in the opposite direction, but the magnitude will be same. So P1T will be equals to P1A, P2A is equals to P1T and P2R is equals to P1R. So the present analysis of the expression derived, okay, for the component of the force acting on the worm. The component of the force acting on the worm will be determined by the above relationship. Means if you will able to calculate the relation loads on the worm, then similarly with the help of this relation or from the equation 21, 22, 23 and 24, you can calculate the remaining or calculate the force acting on the worm wheel. Okay. So now let's see what are the formulas related to these three loads. So the normal reaction P acting on the worm, as you can see in the picture, this is the normal load P, this dotted line you can see, okay, at an angle alpha, and alpha is what? Normal pressure angle, while gamma is lead angle. Now this alpha will give you the plane ABCD shaded by the dots. So with the help of this reaction P, you can calculate or evaluate Pn normal load, which is equals to P cos alpha, while radial load will be equals to P sin alpha. Okay. If you will resolve this normal load in the plane of AEBF from this particular figure, you can see AEBF, then you can say that axial load will be equals to Pn cos gamma and Pt is will be equals to Pn sin gamma. So instead of Pn, you can also write down the formula P cos alpha. So this relationship PTPA will be equals to P cos alpha sin gamma, PA will be equals to P cos alpha cos gamma, while PR is already calculated, which is PR sin alpha. So these are the relationship for tangential, axial and radial load of worm, and similarly with the help of this calculation, or with the help of these relationship, you can calculate the tangential, axial and radial load for the worm wheel. Okay, so and if you will superimpose or reiterate or solve the equation, then you can also see that P1T can also be rewritten as P cos alpha sin gamma plus mu P cos gamma, if you are just adding the frictional forces in the picture. Okay, whenever you are going to incorporate frictional forces, then it will be look like this. Your axial force will be, tangential force will look like this, and your axial force will be P cos alpha cos gamma minus mu sin gamma. After that, P1T will be equals to, it can also be calculated with the help of mt by 2 mt by d, and mt is your torque. Okay, and with the help of this you can also calculate the different magnitude of the component of the resultant tooth force. Means these are the equations will give you the idea how to determine the magnitude of component of resultant tooth force. Okay, so this you can prepare. With the help of that, you can also try to solve out this numerical. In the upcoming session, we will try to solve this numerical, and the answers are given here. You have to just calculate the axial, tangential and radial load for the worm and worm wheel, and the specification and other required data is given in the numerical. Thank you so much for your patience hearing. If you still have any kind of doubt, do comment, and if you have not subscribed Engineering College Banswara YouTube channel, so do subscribe Engineering College Banswara YouTube channel for more such updates about different branches of engineering like mechanical, electrical and civil. Thank you so much for your patience hearing.